Hello and welcome to my class once again, children. In today's class, we will be learning about blood and lymph circulation taking place in the human body, and we will also try to understand what is the meaning of double circulation. Inside our bodies, there are three principal type of fluids which show circulation. So the first one, that is the blood. The second type, that is known as tissue fluid, and the third type, that is known as the lymph. So these three fluids, they are in constant circulation within our body, and they also help in transporting different materials to various parts of our body. Look at this figure given in the book, which gives a diagrammatic representation of blood and lymph circulation in our bodies. Now have a look at this figure, students, which I have made for explanation purpose. See the labelings and the different structures present over here. The two lungs, the left and the right lungs. From the lungs originates the pulmonary vein. Now here this single vein is representing the four pulmonary veins, two coming from each of the lungs. And also it is important to say here that the red colored vessels, they are showing the oxygenated blood flowing through them, and the blue colored vessels, they are showing the deoxygenated blood flowing through them. So from the pulmonary vein, blood moves in this direction like this, and this blood is received by the left auricle of the heart. Okay. Now this is the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is single artery which comes out of the right ventricle, and after coming out it divides into two branches, one going to right and the left lungs. So let me show here with the help of the arrows the deoxygenated blood moving towards the lungs. Now we see in this figure the four chambers of the heart are also clearly visible over here, and we can see that from the left ventricle of the heart a large blood vessel arises. Now when we look at other figures in the book, we find that this is coming out going in the upward direction, then it bends down to become the dorsal aorta. But here simply we have shown it coming out of the left ventricle. This is the aorta, the largest artery in the body, and when it goes down it is known as the dorsal aorta, and at various levels at different organs it gives out, it keeps giving out pairs of arteries like this in both the direction at different levels. But in this figure, or in the figure in the book, only one single artery is shown over here. That is for the purpose of explanation of the circulation of blood. But this blood, this aorta, it gives out many branches inside our body, and the blood circulation takes place. Okay. Oxygenated blood from the lung reaches the left auricle. From the left auricle it passes to the left ventricle, and then from the left ventricle passes through the aorta, reaching different parts of the body. Now as I said earlier that this aorta divides into many arteries. Now let me name it as the artery. The blood vessel artery once again subdivides. We can see here that still more branches are there. So artery subdivides and it produces vessels which are known as arterioles, and these arterioles again subdivide and they produce another structure or another much narrower blood vessel which are known as the capillaries. Okay. And in this figure we can also see that these capillaries, they are reuniting. The through the arteries always the oxygenated blood flows, but when the artery has become converted into the vein, which is shown by blue color over here, these are also capillary, students, which are shown in the blue color over here, because now these capillaries, they are collecting the deoxygenated blood from their surroundings, so they are shown in blue color over here, and these capillaries, they reunite to form another category of blood vessel which are known as venules. These venules again reunite. We can see here three venules are there. These venules again reunite and they form another structure which is known as the vein. We already know about the veins, and many veins. You can see that at different junction, different veins are joining over here, and all these veins, they join together and they form the largest vein in the body, which is known as the vena cava. Now in this figure, this single vein, it is representing all the both the vena cava, the superior and the posterior vena cava, and we can see that blood in this vena cava or the veins, they are flowing in this direction. Now let us continue from here. The blood is moving in the artery like this. Now this oxygenated blood moves inside the arterioles. From the arterioles, the oxygenated blood moves inside the capillaries. Okay, now in the red colored capillaries, in the blue colored capillaries. Okay, then they pass into the venules, from the venules into the veins, from the veins into the vena cava, now moving in the upward direction. From the lower vena cava or the inferior vena cava, blood will move in the upward direction. From the superior vena cava, from the head and neck region, it will move in the downward direction. Now both the vena cava goes and opens into the right auricle. Okay, so from right auricle, now this deoxygenated blood will go to the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle it will go again, it will go to the lungs. In the lungs, this deoxygenated blood will be oxygenated. From the lungs, pulmonary veins will carry oxygenated blood again back to the left auricle, left ventricle, through aorta, through arteries, arterioles, capillaries, different parts of body, again back. So in this way the blood is circulating inside the body. Let me recall you once again, students, that the right side of the heart always carries deoxygenated blood and the left side of the heart always carries oxygenated blood. In our body, pulmonary vein is the only exceptional vein which carries oxygenated blood. All the other veins carry deoxygenated blood, and the pulmonary artery is the only artery which carries deoxygenated blood, but all the other arteries in the body, they always carry oxygenated blood. These capillaries are present in all our organs. And now let's see what happens at these capillaries, because these capillaries, they are the narrowest blood vessels found inside our body, and their walls are made up of only single cell thickening. So out of all the vessels in the body, it is only through the walls of capillaries that exchange of materials can take place between the blood flowing through them and between the cells of the various organs which are surrounding them. When the blood in the arteries and in the capillaries, the oxygenated blood reaches the cells of various organs, through the walls of these capillaries, liquid fluid or the liquid part of the blood starts coming out. Okay, and along with this liquid part which is coming out, we will find that certain nutrients which are being carried by the blood to various parts of the body, and oxygen which is being carried out by blood, it diffuses out and it reaches the various cells present in that organ. When oxygen and nutrients have diffused out, the blood is flowing through these capillaries and it is passing, now coming to this part of the capillaries. Now because the blood here has become less concentrated in oxygen, the blood in this capillary starts collecting carbon dioxide from the surrounding cells. So carbon dioxide starts to diffuse inside the capillaries at their other end. Okay, and along with carbon dioxide, we will also find that whatever waste materials that was produced by the cells over here, that also passes inside the capillaries. So that is why this part of the capillary is shown in blue color, students, because it is now becoming rich in carbon dioxide, and this part of the capillary was shown in red because it was rich in oxygen. Now the blood which has collected carbon dioxide and waste materials, it moves through the venules, the veins, coming to the vena cava, and this blood now which has become deoxygenated because it is having less oxygen and more carbon dioxide, goes to the right auricle of the heart. All the nutrients, oxygen and the liquid part coming out from this part of the capillaries, I have represented here with this dotted appearance. It is important to note here, students, that along with these materials, a type of blood cell known as the white blood cell, especially the neutrophils, they also come out between the spaces of the cells. So because it is present, it is coming out inside a tissue. That is why this fluid now is known as the tissue fluid. Running parallel with the arteries and the veins, there is another set of vessels which is also carrying certain fluid through it, and these are known as the lymph vessels. Okay, I have drawn here in green color over here the lymph vessels, the network of the lymph vessels present over here. So now from the blood, when the fluid which comes out in the tissue or between the spaces of cells, which is now known as the tissue fluid. Now this tissue fluid, it is having a large number of white blood cells also. So from here, now because drainage has to take place, otherwise the fluid will get accumulating between the cells, the space of the cells, and this will lead to swelling in that part. So drainage has to take place. So from here, the liquid part here and the liquid part along with the white blood cells enters these lymph vessels. You can see here in this figure over, students, that the liquid part is entering in the lymph capillaries. Okay, so liquid part along with the WBCs enter in these lymph capillaries. Okay, and now this fluid, it passes, the fluid is passing like this through it, through the larger lymph vessels. The fluid now which is present inside these lymph vessels, this fluid is now known as the lymph. Now it passes through these vessels like this. The lymph vessels at different parts, they have certain structures known as the lymph nodes. The lymph passes like this. It moves in the upward direction like the vena cava, the inferior vena cava, and this, the largest lymph vessel, it now opens inside the vena cava like this and pours all the lymph into this vena cava. So now again this the fluid which had come out of the blood as tissue fluid, the fluid entered the lymph vessels. Again that fluid is carried over by the lymph vessels and it comes back and is added into the blood flowing through the vena cava. Now it goes again to the right auricle, from right auricle to right ventricle, from right ventricle to the lungs for oxygenation, again coming back, again becoming distributed. This cycle goes on, and this is taking place in all the organs of the body, students. Okay, so this is how the blood circulation takes place, and I hope I was able to make it clear to you. And now we will come to double circulation. This figure given over here clearly shows double circulation in the human body. The blood flows twice through the heart before it completes one full round throughout the body. So why it is double circulation? So in the first round, blood flows from the heart to the lungs and again comes back from the lungs to the heart. So one circulation is completed. This is known as the short pulmonary circulation, where the blood moves only up to the lungs. That is, a short distance is covered. In the second round, the blood moves from the heart to various parts of the body, from the head to tip of the toe, and again from the various parts of the body it comes back to the heart. So this is known as the long systemic circulation, where the blood passes to general body, the entire body except the lungs. So we can see that double circulation, two circulations are involved, one short and one long circulation, to complete one complete flow of blood through the full body. So I hope it is clear, students, and I hope that today's video you have enjoyed watching it. Thank you for watching my videos. Bye.